in a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Hey there, my movie maniacs, my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Welcome to this episode of Movies Merica, and this is a special edition episode of Movies Merica here, if I can get that out, okay? So it's a totally different format here, just for this week, hopefully. It's basically because I've got a pretty sore throat here, going through a cold, but I still wanted to provide you guys with an episode, a special treat of sorts, something for you to check out here. I didn't want you to go without here. And so I am going to be going over one of my all-time classic movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando, okay? And you're going to notice I'm probably rushing through it, or I definitely will be rushing through it, because due to that sore throat I mentioned, I'm literally on the clock, okay, until my sore throat gets me coughing and all that. So let's get right into it. And, real quick, by the way, I will be enjoying a Deep Ellum Brewing Company Nito Bandito, a little Mexican lager here the whole time to keep hydrated and keep the coughing at bay. Okay, so here we go. All right. So, yeah, Commando, 1985, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Great character, John Matrix in this. This is him. He's ex-special forces. Some bad guys take his daughter, played by Alyssa Milano. And the bad guys are headed up by Dan Hedaya, playing some president, whatever. Vernon Wells plays his main henchman. Vernon Wells, from The Road Warrior and Weird Science, Inner Space. So they take his daughter, and pretty much the whole movie is him chasing, or basically, he's also up against the clock in this movie because he has to save his daughter. And the reason they took his daughter is because he helped overthrow Dan Hedaya's president character at some point. And so Dan Hedaya has kidnapped his daughter to get Schwarzenegger, John Matrix, to overthrow the president that he helped get in there and kill him so Dan Hedaya could take over, okay? And so that's the whole point of taking the daughter. And so we see Schwarzenegger, when he realizes, okay, there's no way they're going to give him his daughter back alive, no matter, even if he does accomplish the mission, right? And so he gets on the plane in L.A. and escapes the plane, and he has one of the great one-liners in this movie. He kills the bad guy, the thug that's escorting him to make sure that he gets to the country where this president that he's supposed to assassinate rules, and he kills the thug in a plane, puts the blanket over him and the hat, and tells the flight attendant, "Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired." So that whole thing, and. So then we get some great action set pieces after he meets Rae Dawn Chong, who plays his partner pretty much in this movie, and they have a fun action set piece in a mall, in a galleria in L.A., and then they go and they follow the clues, basically the breadcrumbs, and one of the breadcrumbs leads them to a motel room where they meet up with another baddie played by Bill Duke, who is also an accomplished film director outside of this movie. Okay, so but Bill Duke, you know him as the bald black guy in Predator. Okay, so he was Jesse Ventura's buddy in that. So that's Bill Duke. But anyway, so then he gets whacked, and then they realize, okay, they need to get to this island to save his daughter. Well, then they have to equip up, right? Okay, and they have to get all kinds of armaments, you know, missile launchers, and all kinds of machine guns, that kind of thing, right there. But before I continue on here, let me let you guys know all about my Movies Merica spoiler warning show. And that comes on every Thursday night at 7 Eastern, and it's 4 Pacific. Okay, so, and now if I can keep my sickness at bay, I will be doing that show this week over Commando. Okay, over this, obviously this movie right here. Now, I feel kind of funny to call it spoiler-free because that movie came out in 1985, but, just for consistency's sake, we'll keep the show name that right there. But yeah, definitely check that out. So they have to arm up in order to go on this mission to save his daughter, and it's kind of a funny scene because you see Schwarzenegger, he takes the tractor and he busts through the front of the surplus store, Surplus City, and just starts on a shopping spree of weaponry. It's pretty cool because he's got to replenish his. Maybe later on he has to replenish his armament or his weaponry compartment or safe that he had back at his house. Okay, so towards the beginning of the movie, where he punches in the keypad and gets his weapons there from his house. Towards the beginning of the movie, like, what dude? Maybe some ladies wouldn't want that, a cool keypad gun safe in their house. So, and so then they have to get to this. This I guess biplane or whatever, so to aquaplane to fly that to this island where his daughter's being held, and then once they get there, of course, I'm sure Schwarzenegger worked this into the screenplay, where he's got to like get in these tight Speedo shorts to show his figure and that kind of thing. And so this is, back in 85 when he was still in shape and whatnot. And then they have the classic scene where he's arming up, he's getting the face paint on, and he's got the vest, and he's locking on the grenades and the ammo and the shotgun shells and whatnot. It's just that cool scene where he's arming up before he goes out to blow some people away, okay? Okay, everybody. Hey, if you would, just go ahead and subscribe and follow this channel, and then hit the like button down below, and then the notification bell as well, so you get notifications of brand new episodes of Movies Merica. And those buttons are just right down there. It takes you like 2 seconds to click them. If you would, I appreciate it. And then get in that comment section down below as well. And comment to me. That'd be fantastic. I want to hear from you. And then also get to tdpn.locals.com. That's our website with all our great Till Death Podcast Network content. And right now, if you go there and put in promo code TDPN, as in Till Death Podcast Network, you get a free month of access to all the great stuff that's on tdpn.locals.com. All right, with that, let's move on with the show. So, we've got Rae Dawn Chong, and she is in the plane while Schwarzenegger is heading further inland on the island there. She's radioing General Kirby, I guess Schwarzenegger's, John Matrix's old boss in the movie, and to try to radio them into their location. And then Schwarzenegger, or John Matrix, he basically goes into the island, about his daughter, and along the way, he is just dispatching thugs and baddies left and right. These goons, disposable soldiers, basically, because they're all fighting for this evil dictator. And it's just classic 80s action, where he's going in there just wiping people away, man. I tell you, he's just, and in movies, of course, guns have unlimited ammunition, so of course, because it looks cooler, right? You don't want to keep seeing people consistently changing out mags, right? So. So he gets further and closer to the mansion, because I guess his daughter, I know, they're holding his daughter in this big old mansion on this island, and he gets there, and he works his way to Dan Hedaya, the evil dictator behind this whole plan, and eventually takes him out with a shotgun blast. And then the whole time, Bennett, who's the name of Dan Hedaya's main henchman, and a former member of John Matrix's team, who John Matrix kicked off the team, and Bennett has a axe to grind with John Matrix because of being kicked off. And so that's why Bennett was more than happy to join with his merry band of criminal idiots because it gave him a chance to get back at John Matrix for kicking him off the team. And so, Bennett is really the main bad guy left, okay? And so chases him down to the basement because Bennett is actually chasing after John Matrix's daughter because Alyssa Milano is John Matrix's daughter, Jenny, is resourceful enough to escape from this room that she was being held, before Vernon Wells or Bennett can kill her. And so the chase is on. And Jenny is running from Bennett, and Bennett is being pursued by John Matrix. They get down to the basement where a big brawl between former team comrades, now sworn enemies, ensues. And it's just this classic 80s balls to the wall fight. And even at one point, Bennett gets, kicked back into this high voltage, center or a high voltage placement there, and he's like shocked with all this voltage, and that voltage like propels him into like superhuman strength there for a second. It's got like a Super Mario power up or something like that. So speaking of power up, I got to power up my Nito Bandito. So I should mention Nito Bandito. Again, that's Deep Ellum Brewing, and that's actually out of Dallas, Texas. So, and again, it's a Mexican lager, 6.0 alcohol by volume. So, not exactly a light touch. It's got a little heft to it for a lager, so I definitely like it, and it's helping me out right now. So then, Bennett he gets a superhuman strength, this Super Mario power up. But eventually, John Matrix gives himself another chance for another great one-liner from this movie when he takes his HVAC pipe or something, and stabs Bennett right through the chest, and then of course it protrudes through Bennett into a steam receptacle or furnace receptacle, and so he's got this exhaust steam like pouring out of the pipe, through Bennett and then out the end of the pipe. And then Schwarzenegger gives us a classic, "Let us some steam, Bennett." It's great. It's a great one-liner. One of the other great one-liners is, when he's chasing down David Patrick Kelly back, after the Galleria scene. And I'm sure you guys all know the line I'm talking about where, it's... "Remember, Sully, when I told you I'd kill you last?" "Yeah, Bennett, you said it." "I lied." And it drops him. Then later on, Rae Dawn Chong is like, "What'd you do with Sully?" "I let him go." Awesome. You know what? Speaking of let it go. All right, everybody. Hey, since you're doing me a solid by sticking around this long, let me do you a solid by letting you know all about Nature Clear Recovery Powder. Nature Clear Recovery Powder, it is just a powder that helps you avoid a hangover or helps you recover from a hangover, whichever the case may be. And it's very simple to use, okay? You just take this packet right here, and you just pour it in 12 ounces of water or a bottle of water, your typical bottle of water. Pour it in there, and you just drink it before you head out to the nightclubs, to shake your booty or hit the beer patio, okay? And now, if you're out and about and you're like on your 15th beer and you're like, "Oh my God, I forgot to take my Nature Clear. What an idiot." Hey, you know what? Take it easy on yourself, okay? Just take it when you get home, all right? And you're good to go, okay? It's almost like Nature Clear was pre-planning for this stuff, okay? They're geniuses. What can I say? And it also helps you recover from smoking and vaping as well. So this is an all-around Swiss Army knife of recovery, okay? So right now, what you should be thinking is, "Van, how do I get my hands on Nature Clear Recovery Powder?" Well, I will tell you. all you got to do is click on the Nature Clear description down in the link in the description. There we go. And just click on that and just pick out whatever Nature Clear products you want, get them in the cart. And then in the promo code field, you type in the promo code MOVIES, okay? And you're going to get up to 25% off your next Nature Clear order. Very sweet, right? Very sweet right there. Sorry, beer burp there. Hazards of the trade. But yeah, get yourself some Nature Clear, all right? Do it. All right, on with the show. But yes, and there's so many great one-liners in this. Just like after he kills Bill Duke's character, Cook gets impaled, and so Schwarzenegger's like, let's take Cook's car. You won't be needing it. Fantastic. Okay, back before Schwarzenegger was a complete idiot that he is now. So screw your freedom. That's where I'm coming from with that. So you got to keep hydrated right there because that throat getting sore and whatnot. So again, literally on the clock. Now, yeah, this movie is so one of the things I'm regretting this week. I'm not regretting reviewing Commando, but I'm regretting that I don't get to review Dune Part 2. Okay, because Dune Part 2 was originally supposed to come out this weekend. But because of the strikes, they had to move it. So, and then also, I do know the Marvels came out this weekend, but I just couldn't bring myself to go see what sounds like a total abomination, of cinema there. So, and but there's plenty of other reviews out there. I'm sure anybody who watches my movie Maniacs, my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics, you guys are savvy enough. You guys are online enough. You guys have seen the terrible reviews for the Marvels, and it sounds like it's pretty much like the final death knell, the final swirl gurgle down the drain for Marvel. They had a good run. They had a good run from 2008 to 2018. Had a great run, and then they just pissed it away after that. And so it's kind of like every great empire. The Roman Empire. It started off as these plucky Romans trying to create this empire, create a way of life for themselves, and they expanded, and then eventually they got fat and happy and bored, and that led to their eventual downfall, and next thing you know, Nero is playing his fiddle while Rome burns, okay? And so in this case, it's Kevin Feige playing his fiddle while Marvel burns, okay? Maybe they might come back, I don't know. If I were to advise them, I'd say don't come back for like another 20 years. Give people some time to miss you. Okay. So anyway, but yeah, they won't know. They won't know. They're not smart enough to leave well enough alone. So they'll keep plugging along. Yeah. I mean, I think that one thing I definitely should mention about Commando is that it is the great James Horner steel drum score. Okay, the soundtrack is fantastic, and to me, it's iconic. And it's a lot like his 48 Hours soundtrack that he did a few years before this, the Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte 48 Hours. A lot like that 48 Hours soundtrack there. And then also a few years after Commando, Schwarzenegger did Red Heat, and that was also scored by James Horner, and you hear a lot of similarities in the Red Heat score to Commando and in 48 Hours. So that was James Horner's MO back in the 80s, well before he did the Titanic score and many other scores. The Braveheart score. Sadly, James Horner is no longer with us. He tragically died in a plane crash at a way too young age. But before that, before his tragic death, yeah, he gave us great soundtracks like the Commando soundtrack. Also, before I forget to remind you, all right, everybody, hey, let me take a minute to tell you all about a new feature on the tdpn.locals.com website, and that is my Movies Merica Mad Libs. So you guys remember Mad Libs when you were a kid? You get the Mad Libs pad with all the paragraphs. You can fill in the words. And if you were like me, you filled in like raunchy words with the Mad Libs. Well, now we have the Movies Merica Mad Libs, and you can only get that on tdpn.locals.com. So what do you have to do to get to the Movies Merica Mad Libs? Well, of course, go to tdpn.locals.com and just read over the 3 characters that I've created for Movies Merica Mad Libs, and then also read over like the first few lines that I've written. And where you come in is just like in Mad Libs back in the day, you get to contribute creatively, okay? And what you do is for each of the 3 characters, you just have to add lines to the Movies Merica Mad Libs script, okay? So I have started you out with the first few lines to give you a little flavor of what the script is all about. And then for each of the characters, you just have to write a line for each character. 1 line per character, please. But you can write as many lines as you want. Go nuts. It's just you have to write at least 1 line per character. And then me and Ian and Sean, the other 2 here as part of the unholy trinity in the Till Death Podcast Network, we'll look over the submissions, okay? And then we will read whatever you write live, okay, on this show. We're going to do a live table read where we read what you write, okay? And you can tune in and you can laugh your butt off. Even one of the characters is a woman, so, one of us is going to have to, get in drag, I guess. All right, so that's Movies Merica Mad Libs, and get there now. Yeah, so this Commando fit right in, after Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, the Terminator, okay? It was right before Schwarzenegger did Raw Deal and Predator and The Running Man. I mean, it was really just kind of like in the middle of the early beginnings of Schwarzenegger's blockbuster career, okay? Because, it became like a household name, really with, I'd say like with the Terminator. I mean, a lot of people knew him after Pumping Iron back in the 70s and Conan the Barbarian, but the Terminator was really what put his name into the households and everyone, because, you see double features of the Terminator with the Karate Kid and stuff, And Commando capitalized on that Terminator success. Now, of course, it wasn't as successful as the Terminator, but Commando is a classic, in and of itself. There. But, I mean, Commando is just big, dumb, lights out action. It's just fantastic, and I love it. And what I like about it is, for me, when I was a kid, it was like one of the forbidden movies, because I grew up in a household where you weren't supposed to watch R-rated movies, okay? And so, obviously, this is R-rated, and so it gave Commando an extra edge for me that maybe it wouldn't have for anybody else, because Commando was like forbidden fruit. Ooh, I'm watching this forbidden R-rated movie. Ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble here. So and that's maybe why part of the reason why I have this affection for Commando. And so I love it. I love it. Also, one of the reasons I love Commando is because the late great Bill Paxton is in Commando. Okay, he's got a very brief part towards the end where he plays like a radio intercept officer for the Navy, and I think it's just fantastic because he's communicating with Schwarzenegger as they're flying over this area, and I just think it's great because then later on, obviously, well, Bill Paxton was in the Terminator with Schwarzenegger the year before. He played one of the punks that the Terminator killed. And then, of course, later on, we'd see Bill Paxton in True Lies with Schwarzenegger many, many years later on. So, but yeah, the whole thing with Commando, it finishes up with that fantastic "We Fight for Love" song during the end credits by Power Station. Power Station of Bang a Gong and Some Like It Hot fame. Those other 80s hits and so Some Like It Hot when I don't remember the lyrics. Embarrassing for me, of course. Now, this show is spoiler free, but the show this Thursday night called Movies Merica Spoiler Warning is going to be all spoilery, okay? I'm going to spoil you rotten, okay? And this show that comes on Thursdays comes on at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and then 4 Pacific, okay? And that is just a show where you get a chance to discuss this movie in depth, spoilers and all, and you can live chat with me, comments, questions, whatever, okay? And the live chat doesn't even have to be about this movie. It can be whatever you want. So, but the live chat will be, about this movie primarily, okay? So, and because this show is meant for those folks like me who, after most movies they watch, sometimes they want to have a more detailed discussion, and you're hard-pressed looking around for somebody to have that detailed discussion about this movie with.
Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me?
Okay, so meet me, Van Ebert. I'm your guy for that detailed discussion on the show, Movies Merica, spoiler warning. Again, this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Central, or 6 Central, 6 Central, 5 Mountain Time, okay? And how do you join this show? Well, all you got to do is on Thursday, you can go to my @MoviesMerica page on Twitter or X, and you can click on the link for the Movies Merica spoiler warning show right there, or you can go to YouTube or Rumble. That's where the show's at. And you can look up Movies Merica. Now, if you look up Movies Merica on Rumble, it'll work just fine. It'll bring you right to my page on Thursday, and you just got to click on the link for Movies Merica spoiler warning. Easy peasy, okay? Now, YouTube's kind of stupid. YouTube's kind of dumb, okay? And so when you type in Movies Merica, it's gonna think you're trying to search for Movies America. Nope, wrong-o, okay? So what you have to do is right underneath where you typed in Movies Merica, you have to click on this little blurb that says search instead for Movies Merica. Click on that, and then that'll take you to the Movies Merica page, okay? Also, you might have to type in Till Death Podcast Network. That's another way to search in YouTube for the Movies Merica spoiler warning show. All right. Hey, enough about that. I hope to see you this Thursday night. Let's get on with the show. So this throat thing, it's on the verge of getting me cough here. So I know I sound like a blubbering little baby. I apologize here, but hopefully you still enjoy this episode. Again, I didn't want you guys. I didn't want to leave you guys, hanging high and dry. I didn't want you to go without, because that's how much I care about my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics, okay? So right now is where I normally do my final thoughts, and my final thought about Commando is, as you would guess, see this, okay? If you're one of the people that haven't seen this movie, and maybe there's probably like a lot of Gen Zers, maybe some millennials that haven't seen this movie, okay? Because, it's from the 80s, and, it's kind of hard to look at the 80s with fondness when you weren't even you weren't even a swimmer yet. Okay, so, but trust me, okay? Generation Z, if you're a Gen Z, if you're watching this, I know I'm an old dude in your eyes. Check out Commando. From Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay, or with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Don't let the fact that it came out in 1985, which probably seems like ancient Roman history to you, okay, but don't be afraid. Don't let that make you afraid to watch Commando, okay? So with that, everybody, I better wrap it up here because, this throat is getting to me. So as always, people, get out there. Those people... Well, let's try that one more time. Get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey, guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got a popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here, too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm going to be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right. Thanks for watching.